I mean, just on Tesla, that 15% gain is going to add up to probably more than $15 billion of net worth for Elon Musk.
I was looking at that this morning.
And
it's like, compared to $130 million, that's a return on investment.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when all is said and done, and we have all the filings, I would not be surprised if Elon Musk's contribution was closer to 200, if not even higher than that. But whatever it was, it's way less than the potential, it's a paper gain of, say, $15 billion. And really, that's the tip of the iceberg, because Tesla, although it is a highly regulated business, it does benefit from lots of government policy that could be impacted by a new presidency. It isn't the most direct impact. The most direct one is SpaceX, which is Elon Musk's giant defense contractor and rocket company. And SpaceX already has huge contracts from the federal government. Trump on the campaign trail talked a lot about the potential for more contracts, talking about a Mars mission, which would likely feature SpaceX prominently and be worth billions, if not tens of billions of dollars. There's also potential government money for Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite internet company. Elon Musk has other businesses that could also benefit from this. The Boring Company, which is an infrastructure play. Neuralink, that's federally regulated. This is a guy who does business with government regulators in one way or another all the time. And so he arguably, I think from the point of view of the Trump campaign or Trump supporters, he understands it, but obviously he has a lot to gain.
How does this work, though? Like, I think about the training we all do as employees about conflicts of interest, and you can't have them. So, where are regulators on having a CEO of a publicly held company that has U.S. government contracts, has global government contracts, having possibly a job in the U.S. government, Secretary of Cost Cutting, perhaps? How does that work? How can it work? I mean, does he have to sell off his Tesla holdings to do this?
I think so first of all, I think you should think about Elon Musk's influence in the White House to be at least partly informal rather than formal, because formal influence, I don't think we're talking about a Senate confirmed position. I think that would be very hard. I think he does not want to leave, give up control of any of his companies, or even have to sell stock, or even have to put stock in a trust. He wants to continue running his companies and also contribute to the White House. That's kind of how he has framed it. So, my guess is some sort of not in the government, but having some sort of advisory role. Trump did this a little bit in 2016. And I should also say, one thing we learned during that time is that, there are formal roles in the White House, and then there is probably the most important job, which is who is speaking to Donald Trump regularly. And that, I think we know Elon Musk is doing that regularly. He's clearly top of mind. During that 25-minute or so victory speech, Elon Musk praise took up between 5 and 7 minutes. It was a substantial part of how Trump framed his candidacy and how he's thinking right now.
What have you learned just in the last, 6 weeks about what Elon Musk's priorities are, given what he's posted on X, what he's talked about at rallies, and the influence that he would have on a second Trump administration? Well,
I think the priorities are the business priorities, probably first and foremost.
He's talked about immigration a lot,
right?
too.
Yes, but I would say that Elon Musk has emerged. I think there were people, as Elon Musk started to sort of dip his toe into politics, thinking that he would be this would be like a normal business guy engaging politically, which is you write a check and you turn around and you're out of it, right? And I think Elon Musk has the intention of being a political player going forward. That is, there's people this morning, I was getting questions from friends and so on saying, well, what's stopping Trump from just turning around, taking Elon's money and not doing any of the stuff he wants, not giving SpaceX another contract? And the answer is, besides the fact that Elon Musk is a popular guy, that you could make the argument that Elon Musk's support was meaningful, perhaps even helping to push Donald Trump over the edge. But even if you leave that aside, Elon Musk is saying that he is going to be a major political donor in the midterms. That's what he said yesterday. So he has potentially, millions, tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars more money that he is planning on spending. He is going to be, as he said, the George Soros of the right, the main, the power broker, the business guy who can make or break your campaign.